Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name's Eddie and you're watching Meth Gaming. Unfortunately, there is no in-game audio for this particular video. The original audio file got corrupt and had to be deleted, so I'm recording this voiceover afterwards. In this video, I'll be showing you every single edit, every single ramp, floor, pyramid and wall edits in the entire game so that you can kick off your building with the basics. So we'll start all the way down here with the walls. As you can see, when I place the wall, it's just a normal wall, nothing special about it, until you start editing it. There's all of these edits. I haven't counted them, but there's probably at least 20 of them. This first one's the windows. Just to take out these two, and what that's basically going to do is just make holes for where the windows can go, so that you can use them. There's a lot of different ways to use this. Some of these ways include tactically, so you can sort of hide in the corner of the window and then peek up when you want to snipe or shoot your enemies, anything like that. This next edit is a window again, except for it's one in the middle instead of one either side. It works much the same way as the previous one. This one is just a simple door. You can do this by taking out the two bottom middle pieces. This can be especially used for inside of 1x1s to get out of your 1x1 easily or anything like that. Oh, what am I doing here? So a lot of uses for these windows and doors. This door is exactly the same except for it's over to the right instead of in the middle. Same purpose, everything like that. A lot of these edits can be used the other way around. So as you can see in this footage, you can put the door on the other side as well if you wish to. This next edit just has a window and a door next to it. This one can also be switched around and can be used for a range of things, like in bases. They can be used tactically. These two pieces are they're just basically triangles, once again to be used tactically to look around, hide behind, stuff like that. They can both be done simply by taking out the three corner pieces in any corner of the thing, any of the two top corners, any of the two bottom corners. They all do the exact same task. This footage is just showing some of the corners you can use. This one's the same except for instead of above, it's on the floor. These two are arches. This first one's a half arch. Once again, this half arch can be done on either side. All of these edits can be used with different materials. I believe in a second I'll show you the brick equivalent of it. It's not quite as nicely curved. So just take out the bottom four corners, or either the bottom four corners. Don't think I'll actually the top corners though. And then you have a arch. If you put two of these together, it makes quite a grand entrance on bases. I use it in one of my previous videos on me building a crazy base. This one's just a double arch, basically just cutting out all of the middle stuff so that you just have an arch shape left. This can be used in a lot of different ways, but mainly just decorative. Once you know these edits, they're quite simple to do and quite quick to do as well, once you've done them all a few times. I'll put this edit back how it was meant to be. So this is basically just a high balcony, half wall, whatever you want to call it. Quite useful. Usually if someone's above you though, you can't really look over it, it's a bit tall for that. You can sort of use your camera, like just the actual camera to peek what's over on the other side of the wall without actually exposing your body to bullets or gunfire. Now these two are the same thing, just a bit lower. So you just take out an extra row. This one's a bit better for people below you. If someone's in front of you or higher than you, then you can get shot quite easily. This bit here, that's just a half of one of those balcony pieces. Not much different. I don't really know when to use that. I don't think I've ever used that piece before, but it is an edit in the game for people to use. This next bit is just a simple pole. It can be used to hide behind, but that's about it. A lot of these edits are pretty pointless, not used for much. Although if you put these poles together, they do look quite nice. So yeah, as the footage is showing, you can use them to hide behind and peek out the corner of if someone's running towards you. This bit here, just simple gates, quite helpful. So it's sort of like those walls that you can hide behind, except for now you have a gate. So to do this, just draw a T with the stuff that you don't want, and it'll basically just give you the gate that you need. Quite a useful edit. Although this one I've actually never seen in-game before. I've never seen somebody use this. I use it occasionally, but I've never seen someone use it. This next one's the same, but instead to the side. Quite helpful. This next one is like one of those half balcony rails, except for taller. Another useful edit for peeking around. Also, if you're going to use these to peek around, I don't recommend building them out of wood, because it only takes a couple of shots and the enemy's through it and you're exposed. So try and build these out of metal and give it time to construct itself. This one is the final window piece, not sure why it wasn't down further, but quite a useful piece. It's just the window onto the side, same use as all the other windows. Good for peeking out of. Now if we go back down, we'll go onto the pyramid edits now. So there's only 4 of these edits I think, but these work a bit differently, as you'll see in the footage coming up. The pyramids are good for taking high ground, as you can see in this footage. They're really good for taking high ground. Or also hiding behind. If you hide behind while crouching and you just stand up, you can just peek snipe someone real easy. Yep, so this footage is showing the peek sniping. I apologise for the poor audio. As I said before, the file got corrupt, so there was no audio file. I was actually talking about this in-game. So triangles, pyramids, whatever you want to call them, edit a bit differently. Instead of deleting the tiles, you just lift the tiles and it makes different shapes. This shape here is good for hiding underneath or sitting on top of and using as another version of the ramp to peek people, like to snipe on people. You can actually see through the cracks, so if you get the scope in the right spot, then you can actually have the scope aimed directly at them and then just stand up and bang, dead. This next 2 pieces aren't usually very useful apart from on the roofs of houses or for making corners on pyramids, but that's not very much of battle stuff. That's usually stuff that you'll be using more in playground mode. Hopefully playground mode can stay in, it's a good mode. That's what this is all being filmed in right now. So these are just edited by lifting different tiles. Excuse the impulse markers, it's impulsing me off. So quite good edits. Not very useful, although this V piece, I guess you can use that to peek out of both corners on a base. I've actually never thought about using that for that, but I'm actually use that in game now. That's good. Instead of peeking out in one direction with a ramp, you can peek out in 2 with that V piece. So as you can see, you can use these next floor pieces for roofs or floors. They just come as basically a standard flat platform. And then much like the walls, you need to take away one block, remove a block to form the edit. So there's not very many with these, they're very basic but all very useful. I often use most of these pieces when I am building bases. So if you go back to one of our previous videos on building a base and a skyscraper, we use these edits quite a lot. So basically just rails, lookout balconies, then there's a bit of a quarter circle. There it is, there's the quarter circle. So good for peeking over as I'm showing in this. Excuse the bad audio again, sorry. This bit's the circle I was talking about. Not useful for much, just more of a gimmick. Most people won't really use it, but it's always there. This next piece can be made by taking out the two pieces opposite each other, as shown in this footage here. Not useful much once again, often only used when you're trying to make fancy looking bases. Not really practical in-game for much. In fact, another edit that I've actually never seen anybody use in-game. I think some of these edits most people don't actually know about. Some of them aren't very obvious. Like some of the gate ones down the end of the walls. I actually only learned those once today. I didn't actually know about those until I was doing some research for this video. I'm not sure what I was doing a ramp push there, but anyway. Onto the ramp edits. Useful for a lot of things. In fact, the ramp edits are some of the ones you'll use the most in-game. There's Marcus doing some building, practicing some building. So these are used a lot differently. To edit these, you have to actually grab a corner tile that you'll be able to see. You can grab a corner tile like that, and then you actually have to drag it across, and then in whatever direction you want it to be. So, yeah, so grab a tile, drag it across. You can also drag these thin bits and drag it across to reset the ramp or change directions of the ramp. Very good for use inside of 1x1s when you're trying to snipe out of them and you want to snipe in different directions. Gets a bit hectic here when the boys start messing around. So this one is often seen in houses in places such as Two of the Towers or Salty Springs. It's just the main staircase, the default staircase in all houses. So that's just made by dragging it around in a complete U to construct that staircase shape. You can add these on top of each other and make a nice looking spiral staircase, as seen here. This next edit is the same, except for instead of doing a full U, you only do like an L shape, and it just makes it go to the side slightly. I don't think this is used in many buildings. I think it's used inside of the main grey building, Trump Tower, inside of Two of the Towers. I think it's used in there. But that's about the only place you're going to see that. Anyways, so they are every single edit in the game. Let me know in the comments section below if I missed any, because I'm sure I probably did. There is a lot of edits, and I actually had to find and learn a lot before I made this video, because I actually didn't know a lot. Shout out to Harrison for actually teaching me a lot of these, particularly the ones down the left hand end of the walls, the far ends. I didn't know most of those. Thanks for watching. I'm out.